Hi, everyone, and welcome to this BEI Phase 5 webinar. I'm just going to put on my screen. I do apologize. It seems like I'm a little bit stuck with my PowerPoint. But welcome to this Phase 5 BEI webinar. And this webinar is designed to share information about your training as assistants, to show you how you can access your training through Teacher Connect WhatsApp bot, and where you can find additional resources that will help you go through your BEI journey and beyond. Let me introduce myself. My name is Candy Hlaisimsamang, and I will be your host for today. Seems we have a little bit of technical glitch with my screen. Okay. I'm going to take a moment to just go out and come in again. I do apologize for that. Okay. So as we get ready to go through this webinar today, we have some of you who will be joining us via YouTube, and we have a team with us who's going to help us answer your questions. We have Jen on the Zoom call who will be answering your questions. And on YouTube, we have Julie who will be helping us answer those questions as well. So we've been running these webinars since the beginning of July. And don't worry, you haven't missed anything. These webinars are the same. They are an opportunity for you to ask questions, to get clarity about your training, as well as to make sure that you can access additional resources, like I mentioned, that will help you as we go through this journey. Okay? We still have about 6 more webinars all throughout August. So you are requested to complete all of your training by the end of August. But this week we'll be having 3 webinars, counting today's one, and our webinars happen on Tuesdays. Well, this is the last Tuesday we're having this webinar, but we'll have a Wednesday webinar from 11 till 12. And this week we'll also have a Thursday webinar from 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Going forward, all throughout August, we'll have these webinars only on Wednesdays, and more information will be communicated with regards to that. But I believe they start from 11 and they continue throughout August. So this is a great opportunity for you to invite your friends and your colleagues to join us on these webinars to get as much information as you will need for your training, for how to register on Teacher Connect, as well as how to get your certificate, etc. And we'll be going through a few of those now. You will note that you are not able to switch on your camera or your mic, but there is an opportunity for you to ask questions. So if you look at the bottom of your screen, you will see there is a Q&A box. You click on the Q&A box, you will see that you can type up your questions, and then Jen will be there to be able to answer them for us. And if we have additional time, we'll be able to answer them live for you on this webinar. If you are on the YouTube page, please use that live chat and type in your questions, and Julie will be able to answer your questions as much as possible. And we're hoping that we're able to emphasize a number of things and repeat a few things to provide clarity on what you will need and how you go about completing your training. Okay, so let us begin. All right. Okay. Might need a little bit more help with my tech. I do apologize for this. My screen does not seem to be moving. Okay, I will start with the sharing again and let's see what's happening. Okay. I do apologize. I'm going to try as much as possible to move through my presentation as much as I possibly can without going in and out. But it seems like we're back, which is fantastic. I hope you do give me a little bit of indulgence here. So, in phase 5, as all of you are assistants, you have been asked to complete training by the end of August. And I've mentioned this before, okay? And it will be training that is specifically assigned to your assistant type. And we'll talk about assistant type just now. You're also going to be asked to complete a monthly survey. And this survey is going to ask you a number of questions. Okay? And these questions will range from asking you about, did you do your training? Have you been paid? Have you signed your contract? How are you feeling about the program? Has it been beneficial to you? Asking you for your feedback and how you're experiencing the journey of BEI. Okay? We're very excited to hear from you. So we will really appreciate it if you were to click the link for the monthly survey when you receive it and complete that survey to the best of your ability and give us your feedback and give us your experiences and answer those questions for us. So we're really excited to hear from you. One of the things we would like to encourage you to do throughout this webinar and throughout your training journey is to keep a notebook handy so that you can jot down some of the highlights, some of the learnings, things you want to remember, some of your reflections, how you're experiencing things that help you in your work. So we do encourage you to write down what's important and to keep that in mind as you go through your training. Make notes for yourself as well, So this is part of a learning journey. It is an opportunity for you to get some work experience, access some skills that will help you in your future work. Okay? So, but additionally, as assistants, you'll be able to access bi-monthly webinars. Okay? And we really would like to have you participate in these bi-monthly webinars. They are absolutely important because you will be able to engage with previous assistants who've been through the BEI program. Some of them have started their own small enterprises. Some of them are MDs of their companies, and you get to experience a whole host of experts who are able to help you as you go throughout your journey and help you start thinking about what's next. But we also have soft skills that is there to help you get prepared as your work life begins. Things like how to build a CV, how to prepare for an interview, work at readiness, conflict resolution. Those are skills that are very important and they're transferable skills. And we would like you to engage with our Teacher Connect WhatsApp bot and really look at what else is there. Okay? There's also exiting opportunities that will help you start thinking about where to from now, now that you've gained so much of the learning from training, from experiencing the BEI program, but you can also get a letter of participation to show that you've gone through this program. Okay. We also encourage you to see other opportunity, this BEI opportunity as a stepping stone to your next step in your working journey. And as you access the soft skills information in Teacher Connect, you will see that there is a whole lot more, and we would like you to explore that. There are also exit opportunities, and these exit opportunities are opportunities that also other partners that we engage with have available for you, such as bursaries, funding opportunities, other training and programs that you can actually access and be able to go through and get more expertise. Okay. We've also put together frequently asked questions. These are the FAQs. So if you see FAQs, these are frequently asked questions. We've had a number of assistants throughout the years who've asked common questions, and we've compiled responses to those questions. So you can see what, you might have a question and it might already be asked by others. Okay, so go to the FAQs and have a look if the response is there. But if you are not sure, you are welcome to engage with our life support, where we have a team that looks at the messages you send on the Teacher Connect WhatsApp bot, and they are there to be able to respond to you and be able to give you the information that you want. You all can also get a hold of us and get in touch with us through our email address, BEEI at Ecubed-DBE.org. And don't worry, I will display it and I will repeat it a number of times as we go through this webinar today. And as you go through the program, we would love to hear from you. We would love you to share your story and your experiences. So also on the Teacher Connect, there's a place where you can upload your photos, voice notes, drawings, videos, even text. So you can tell us how you're experiencing the BEI program. What's the day in your life within the BEI program? What are you experiencing? What are the things that are coming up? What are you learning? What are you enjoying? Things that have actually had your light bulb moment, your aha moment. We would really appreciate you sharing that. So you can upload those under Share My Story. And as we go through, I will be able to show you where you'll be able to do that. And I see a number of you are raising your hands. Please take the opportunity to go through to the bottom of your screen and click the Q&A box and ask your questions there. Okay, and we'll be going through all of your questions around your training, your certificate, resetting your profile, adding a second profile, etc. So please stay with me and we'll go through that. Okay. So I do look forward to hearing your questions and answering your questions. Okay. So as we go through okay, so the objective of today, like I've been mentioning throughout, is that today is to familiarize yourself with the Teacher Connect WhatsApp bot. That's where you'll be able to register and to complete your training. This session will look at how you register on Teacher Connect, how you change your assistant type, how you reset your profile, what training is required for your assistant type, how you find your certificate, and how you change your certificate. And I'll also share anything additional that comes up, okay? So I look forward to having you stay with us as we go through, okay? In the month of July, we've had 3 sessions of webinars per week. But going through to August, we will have only one, the Wednesday one that starts at 11 until 12. Okay? And each of the training session has a different link. And our email address, as I mentioned before, is BEEI at Ecubed-DBE.org. Or you can go to our frequently asked questions to get your questions answered through there. Okay. And you do not have to attend every webinar, but you can attend as many times as you would like so you can get the help you need and you have your questions answered. If you're confident that you know how to register, how to do your training, etc., then you do not have to attend these. But we really encourage you to invite your friends and your colleagues so that they can also participate and have as much information that will help them throughout their BEI journey. There is no attendance certificate required for this webinar. Okay? So, this means that there will be no attendance that is taken and you will not get an attendance certificate for this webinar. Okay. So, you can register and complete your training on Teacher Connect. So, how do you register? How do you go through Teacher Connect? And just to remind you, there's a Q&A box at the bottom. Please ask your questions there and we'll be able to answer them for you. Your mic and your camera are switched off and you will not be able to have, for those who I see somebody in an iPhone X has raised their hand. Could you kindly type in your question on the Q&A box? Okay. So now let's say hi to Teacher Connect. Okay. So this is where you must register. But how do you go about that? First things first, you will need to save the Teacher Connect WhatsApp number on your phone, and the number is 060-060-3333, as you can see it on your screen. Or if you have a QR code reader, please snap the QR code on your screen and access your training there. Once you have saved the Teacher Connect number on your phone and save it the name and Teacher Connect so you can easily find it, then you can go to your WhatsApp and find Teacher Connect. Once you found it, type the word hi, as you can see on the screen there. Okay. And then it will say, welcome to Teacher Connect. Okay. See there, it says, welcome to Teacher Connect. And because Teacher Connect has a lot of things and a lot of resources, it will ask you, it will tell you that it is a step-by-step guide and ask you to tap the button that says next. Okay. And once you do that, you will see that our privacy policy pops up. Okay. And this is very, very important. Our privacy policy helps us to comply with the South African law called POPIA. This law helps us to protect your information, your name, your surname, your ID number, which we'll go through later. It is the law that says how your information must be managed and how it must be stored. So this privacy policy gives us the terms and conditions about how your information is going to be handled and tells you what we're going to do with it. So please read through it. You'll see there's a link there and it'll pop up. It's a privacy policy that tells you about, here we go, that tells you about the terms and conditions of how we're going to use your information and what we're going to do with it. So we encourage you to click yes, I accept. This is very, very important because if you do not click yes, I accept, you will unfortunately not be able to complete your training. If you click no, I opt out, that means you cannot complete your training. So please click yes, I accept to continue and do your training. Now we've done our yes, I accept, and it says great. And the next thing it will say is tell me about your role. And your role is a BEEI assistant. You're not a teacher, you're not a principal or a district official. You're not even a learner. You are a BEEI assistant. So click on BEEI assistant and press the send button. Okay. And it will ask you for your first name. This is where you need to put your first name. Please make sure the spelling is correct and make sure that it is, if you have two names and you want both on your certificate, you can put both here. As you see with our sample assistant here, whose name is Jane, but Jane has another name and she wants it to appear on her certificate, and she's put in Jane B. Then it will ask you for your last name. Your last name is your surname, so you put that in as well. So you see how the first name and the last name are separated? That's absolutely important that you put in your first name first, and then it will ask you for your last name, and then that's where you can put in your last name. These are the names that will appear on your certificate. Make sure the spellings are correct and make sure that you have all of the information that is needed. Okay, I'm going to go back a little bit. Okay, first name, last name. Okay. So now, see, it says, thank you. Nice to meet you, Jane B. So because we would like to keep you up to date and we want to keep you well informed, we would like to send you messages about bursaries and other opportunities. So we will ask you to give us permission to send you these kinds of messages. And that is also part of POP here in terms of you giving us permission to keep you informed on regular updates. So here, we would encourage you to say, yes, message me. But you can also choose, no, thank you. If you say no, thank you, we will not message you. We will not be sending you anything, any more messages. But if you say yes, message me, then we can send you updates about anything that's coming up, opportunities that are there, training opportunities, funding opportunities, bursary opportunities. So this is also important for you to opt in. Yes, this is your opt in screen as well. And then we will ask you to choose your assistant role. And some of you have two roles, but don't worry, I will tell you how you also choose your second role. First, you need to choose your very first role. Okay? Now, there is a drop down there which you tap, and you will see Jane B is selecting curriculum assistant. Okay? So Jane B is a curriculum assistant. And the next thing it will ask you for your EMIS number. The EMIS number is a number that is unique to your school, which you can get from your principal or your teacher mentor. Make sure you capture it correctly, please. Okay? Here we're going to use a dummy one, so we're going to put in a number of zeros, but we encourage you not to put in the number of the 000. There is a number that is unique, and it helps us to see which school you've been allocated. Okay. It will also ask you for your email address so that we can make sure we can communicate with you via email. And next, it will ask you for your ID number. Okay. Now, your ID number is a 10-digit number. Please make sure you put in your 10-digit number. And as you can see on screen, even though it is zeros, there are no spaces on the zeros. So put in your 10-digit number with no spaces as your ID number. So this information that we're asking about your name, your surname, your EMIS number, your ID number, your email address, those details help us to verify your details against the list that we received from your province. Okay? So that we can make sure that the right the EMIS number you've put in and what we have on our list, it's the same school, and that your ID number and your name are for the same person. This is incredibly important for us to verify. And remember that Teacher Connect belongs to the Department of Basic Education, and your information is strictly used for the purposes of the department and no other information. But as you can see, now we've put in all of our information, and then it says, "Hi, Jane B. Welcome home to everything there is to know about the Basic Education Employment Initiative." And then there is a menu there. It says tap here, and you will see that menu will pop up. You'll see on screen now. And that menu will pop up. This menu has all of the resources we were previously talking about. There's training, there's work readiness, the FAQs, which is frequently asked questions, the surveys, the webinars, where you can share your stories, where you can change your role, and you can access your certificate. But the first thing you want to do is to do your training, right? So you will select training. And remember, Jane B said she was a teacher assistant, a curriculum assistant. Okay. That means that she's going to do all of the training under her assistant type, under curriculum assistant. Okay. And then here, Jane B has said she wants to do training, and she will say, "Ready to start." Okay. So because she's a curriculum assistant, here's a list of trainings that she's required to do, which is orientation and the curriculum training for foundation phase, intermediate and senior phase, and FET phase, intro to project-based learning. And yes, even though you may be allocated to FET phase, you do need to complete your training for foundation phase, intermediate and senior phase, as well as the FET phase. So all of the curriculum training has to be done. So all curriculum assistants have to complete all of the curriculum training. Okay. Okay. So there is a drop down there with that list of trainings that you're required to complete. Okay. You can do orientation, and then the pop-up for the orientation training will come through. Here, it'll welcome you to the orientation training, and then you will follow the prompts until you complete that training. And as you complete the training, you will receive a certificate for each training you complete. So here on orientation is going to tell you a little bit about BEEI. It will tell you a little bit about your roles and responsibilities. Okay. And like I mentioned earlier in the webinar, encourages you to keep a notebook to jot down all of the highlights and everything that you're reflecting on. And then lesson 1 will start. Orientation has 5 lessons, and one of it's going to tell you about your job profile. This is where you know what your role and responsibilities are and the skills and qualities that are needed in terms of that. And then when you finish there, and please do not rush yourself. Take your time, read through each one of the lessons, go through each one. And in most of the trainings, you will find at the end of the training, there's a quiz that you will need to complete. And once you complete each training, remember again that you will receive your certificate. But I will take you through in terms of how do you access your certificate, right? So there you go. Now you've registered on Teacher Connect and you've entered all of your information, but let's recap what information is that is required. So to prepare yourself to do registration as swiftly as possible, you need to have your first name and your last name, your EMIS number, which you can ask from your principal or your teacher mentor, your assistant type, your email address, your ID number, as well. You have to opt in so that we can share more communication with you about webinars, surveys, other information like bursaries and funding opportunities or other training or program opportunities. Okay, so you have these handy, and towards the end, I'll go through the registration processes for those who come in late or those who are not clear. Okay, so how do you research your profile? If you're an assistant from a previous phase, or you registered with the wrong assistant type, you will need to reset your profile. And how do you go about doing that? So you type the word Teacher Connect Clear. That is one word, okay? And please make sure that there are no spaces and that the spelling is correct. Then you wait for the response. So let me repeat that again, okay? Let me repeat that again. You type in Teacher Connect Clear, one word, correct spelling, no spaces, okay? And then it will tell you your profile is reset. But you do need to wait for that response. If that response does not come, please wait for 30 minutes. It could be 30 minutes, maybe to an hour, but it cannot be less than 30 minutes. So you can just do your Teacher Connect Clear and then go do something else, come back in 30 minutes. it should have reset your profile, and then you can type in hi and begin registration again. But remember, when you reset your profile, you will lose all certificate you may have completed. So before you do that, please make sure you've downloaded your certificate and you've saved them in a safe space. Okay? So I'll show you where you can access your certificate. We'll go through that in a moment. Okay. And how do you change your role? If you've made a mistake and you need to change your role, this is how you can do that. Or if you have two roles, this is how you can also access the different training materials. Okay? Now, I'll repeat, once you've done all of the training under the first role that you have, please make sure you download and save your certificate somewhere safe. Send them to yourself via email, send them to somebody else, download them and save them in your folder, etc. Keep them safe. And then this is how you can change your role. Okay? Then let me just go back a little bit on this video so we can go through it together. You type in the word hi. Okay. Yes, you see on the screen. And then a pop-up will come up, and then you select BEEI training. Okay. And then instead of saying that you're ready to start with your training, you actually go and say maybe later. This will give you an opportunity to change your role. And then you will see, once you've typed in maybe later, that pop-up menu that we talked about earlier will show up with training, with readiness, FAQs, etc. But you will see second of last, right at the bottom, it says change my role. So you select change my role. Okay. Now, we'll ask you, so now what role do you want to be? So there's a list that comes up with all of the roles, and let's see what Jane B selects. Okay, so the second role that Jane B is also part of is being a handy person. So she selected handy person. So you select your second role, or the role that you are part of. Okay, and then it says thank you, and then you type in BEI training again, and now the training that relates to handy persons will show up. And then you can start doing the trainings for handy persons. Okay, I hope that's clear. Okay, we'll come back to it if there are questions about that. Okay, so just to remind you all is that you need to save Teacher Connect, which is a 060-060-3333 on your phone, and you can access it via WhatsApp. That way you can gain all of your training. Okay. So I'm going to go and check if there are any questions that I need to respond to live. Let's see, there's somebody who's asking what to do if you have your names, as misspelled. Oh, you're spelled incorrectly. Okay, so if you've spelled your names incorrectly, I will show you on how to edit them when we're looking at certificates. Okay, that will be able to help you to change your name and correct them as you go through. Okay, so please be patient with me and we'll be able to respond to that question. Okay, but also just a reminder, if you have any questions that are not addressed on our FAQs that you need clarity or they're additional to anything else, please email us. So you see on that yellow dot right at the bottom of my screen here, there's the email address that you can speak to us and be able to access um, um, additional support. Okay, so it's BEEI at ecubed-dbe.org. Okay, all right. Now, let's see if we can. And I see people raising their hands. Please type in your question on the Q&A box right at the bottom of your screen. Unfortunately, you will not be able to switch on your camera or your mic. So please send us your questions. We had Jen, who is responding to your questions. And on the YouTube page, we have Judy, who's there as well, helping us, our amazing team. Now let's talk about training. Okay, a lot of people have been asking us about training for the specific roles and how many trainings, how many certificates, etc. So once you've registered and you've shared your details and your assistant type, you will see for that assistant type, you will get a list of trainings shared with you. Assistants only need to complete the list that is shared with you. In addition to the training on the platform, you can do any other training that's linked to our partners that is available for you to do. And to date, the training that is available is orientation, training for care and support assistants, training for curriculum assistants, handy person, reading champions, sports and enrichment. And I know a lot of people have been asking about sports and enrichment. Now it is ready. And another training that is ready is for ECADA. Just in case you're wondering, where is ECADA here? ECADA is also available. And the training that's still in progress is workshop assistant and laboratory assistant. And that's in progress and it's coming soon. If you, for sports and enrichment and ECADA who've been waiting for the training, please stay tuned and please pay attention to your WhatsApp and your SMS. You will be notified for that training. Or you can go to the WhatsApp bot and really check and go to training and see the training that's been uploaded there and you can continue with that. Okay, so let's look at each one of them. Care and support. You need to complete orientation, the care and support training, digital literacy, online safety training, that's the KITSO training, NSSF. You need to complete those particular trainings. And once you have concluded each one of these trainings, you will get your certificate. I see 3 people have raised their hands. I'm going to just remind you again, please type up your questions on the Q&A box right at the bottom of your screen, and we will respond to your questions. For curriculum assistant, like I mentioned before when we were going through our sample assistant, who is Jane B, who was a curriculum assistant, you need to do your orientation. And yes, you have to complete all curriculum training. That means foundation phase, intermediate and senior phase, FET phase, as well as introduction to project-based learning, digital literacy, that's the KITSO training, and the NSSF training. Curriculum assistants have the most training that they need to of all of the assistants to complete. So these are the trainings that need to be completed, and they are ready for you to do so. Reading champions, you also have to do orientation, reading champion training, digital literacy, which is the KITSO training, NSSF training. So you need to do all of these trainings. Handy persons, you have orientation, handy persons training, the KITSO training, and NSSF. Laboratory assistant, you have orientation, laboratory assistant training that is coming soon. please stay tuned. You will get an SMS or you will get a WhatsApp notification so you can do that particular training. But in the meantime, please do the Kitso training, do the NSSF training. Okay. Sports and enrichment. Your training is now ready, so you can do your orientation, your sports and enrichment training, digital literacy, which is the Kitso training, and NSSF. Workshop assistance, you need to do your orientation, and the workshop assistant training is coming up, so please stay tuned. Please pay attention to your WhatsApps and your SMSs. And then but in the meantime, while you're waiting, do your Kitso training and your NSSF training. Ecubed, okay? Your training is now ready. Please go on the WhatsApp bot and you will see the list of training that is there. You will need to do orientation training, code club training, entrepreneurship challenge. But you also have to do the Kitso training, that's the digital literacy training, Lesedi financial tips training, Lwazi financial doctor, and NSSF. So I'm going to repeat that a little bit because that's a little bit new for those who are coming back asking about Ecubed and what Ecubed training is available. You will see it. It is the orientation, which all cadres have to do. Every single one of the assistants has to do orientation training. So you cadres, you also have to do orientation training, code club training, entrepreneurship challenge, the digital literacy, which is the Kitso training, the Lesedi training, which is financial tips, Lwazi, which is the financial doctor, and NSSF. And you almost have like in just as much training as the curriculum assistants. Okay. All training, please remember that it must be completed by the end of August. And when new training is available, you will get an SMS or a WhatsApp that notifies you of the new training. Now, I know a lot of people have been asking about where do I find my certificate? How do I access my certificate? I didn't receive my certificate, so now let's talk about it. Okay. Once you have completed each one of your training, the certificate is automatically generated. Okay. So the certificate is automatically generated and you are able to access it as soon as you complete your training. And then this is important. Once you get your certificate, as you can see on the screen, okay, your certificate, you can download it, you can email it to yourself, but please make sure you save it somewhere where you can access it later. And whether you email it to somebody else or you save it in a folder, we really encourage you that you download your certificate and keep it safe and saved someplace else. Okay. If you've made a mistake on your certificate, you will be able to change it. And this talks to one of the questions that was asked earlier on the Q&A box that says, if I've made a mistake on my names, how do I change that? And you see here on screen, let me just go back so we can go back. So you type in the word hi, that takes you back to the menu, and then you tap in and that pop-up box will show up. See where you were able to access your training. That pop-up box there will show up. Okay. And you will see right at the bottom, the very last one says my certificate. So you click on my certificate. And one of the things that it will do, it will ask you, are these your correct name? Please confirm your name so that we can get it right on your certificate. And it says the name and the way you've written it, the surname and the way you've written it. But if there is a mistake, you say, no, I need to edit. If it's correct, you can go ahead and say yes, and it will generate your certificate for you. But if you say, no, I need to edit, then this gives you an opportunity to correct your details. It will ask you, and please read these carefully. It will ask you for your first name. Please write it correctly. Make sure that you are very careful about the spelling, because you will only have one chance to change your details. This will be your only opportunity to change your details. So whatever name and surname you put in here, that means that's what all of your certificates are going to come out at. So you're not going to be able to change it again. And if you have problems with this, please email us on BEEI at ecubed-dbe.org. Okay. So once your certificate with your correct details are generated, please download them, save them in a safe place so that you can be able to attach them to your CVs in the future, etc. Okay. And this is also important for those who have 2 roles. Once you are completed each one of your training, make sure you download it before you change your role. So I'm gonna just step up and just see. The Retabile is asking, Reading Champion Certificate, what can be done to obtain it? Okay, Retabile, we just went through that now, but quickly. So you type in the word hi on Teacher Connect, and it'll take you back to the menu. And then the menu right at the bottom, you will see it says My Certificate. Okay. And then once you've completed your training, you can say yes and be able to access your Reading Champion certificate. Okay. So that should be able to help you. Okay. So thank you so much for that question. Okay. So we do have a few minutes. So I'm just going to just reiterate about how you register, and this is absolutely important, that you save Teacher Connect on your phone, access it via WhatsApp, and type in the word hi. And as soon as you've done that, it will welcome you to Teacher Connect. And then it will also, let me just put on the video so you can see it visually. Okay. There we go. You type in the word hi, and then it'll welcome you to Teacher Connect. And then you can type in, you click the next button, and then you will see there is a privacy policy that we will require you to accept so that you can access your training. Once you've done that, you must choose, okay? Once you've accepted, you say, yes, I accept. There will be a menu there, and you choose BEI Assistant because that is what you are, okay? And then it'll ask you for your first name, and you type in just your first name. Make sure it is clear. Okay. And then it'll ask you for your last name, and then you type in your last name exactly the way you want it to appear in your certificate. Then we'll ask you to opt in, and then say yes to us so we can send you additional information and regular updates, and you say yes, message me. And now you need to choose the role, your role. And you'll see we've chosen curriculum assistant. And under curriculum assistant, you will be asked for your EMIS number. This is the number that you need to your school, which you can get from your principal or your teacher and mentor. Okay. Once you have put that in, you will be asked for your email address so that we can verify your details with the list we've received from the province. We'll be asked for your ID. And remember, POPIA requires us to keep your information safe and to make sure that you are your information is used in the strictest manner for the purposes of this program. Now, for somebody who's asking about how do you access your last training, so you go in and you go to training, okay? And in training, you should have a list for your specific assistant type. So if you've done only 4 out of maybe the 5 trainings, you should be able to get the last training there that you can do. Let's just say you're a curriculum assistant and you've done your orientation, you've done your foundation phase curriculum training, you've done your intermediate and senior phase curriculum training, and you've done your FET phase curriculum training, but you have not yet done intro to project-based learning. You can go back and make sure that you complete it. Okay, so you can be able to access it there. Okay, I hope that answers you. Okay, and then you can start doing your training and whichever training that's there for you. So we have just I think 2 to 3 minutes left, and I see there are no other questions, but we do wish you all the very best in your journey. And remember that this BEEI opportunity gives you a chance to get some workplace experience. And if you explore Teacher Connect, you will be able to access additional resources that will help you get ready for your next journey beyond the 6 months of this program. And Retabile is asking, is there not a link whereby we can access it for training and obtain certificate, because it's difficult for me to obtain the certificate? Okay, Retabile, my recommendation is that you email us so that we can guide you through on how to access your training. Email us on BEEI@Ecubed. You see it on the screen there, -dbe.org. Let me repeat, BEEI@Ecubed-DBE.org. We'll be able to guide you through and help you troubleshoot challenges you're experiencing with your training and obtaining your certificate. In the meantime, please remember that your trainings that are on Teacher Connect have to be done on the WhatsApp bot. That is absolutely important that you know that. Okay. So thank you so very much. We have just a minute. Let me just see if there's anybody else who have any other questions. So wishing you a great training period and a great experience with BEEI in your school. Remember, all of your training must be concluded by the end of August. But you're welcome to join us tomorrow at 11 if you are unclear or you have additional questions. We wish you all the best, and it was great spending the afternoon with you. Have a lovely afternoon, and we really are excited to have you here. Let me just see. There might just be one more question. Okay. How can I register to get my name appearing on the certificate? Oh, okay. So, because we're running out of time, I'm going to invite you to join us on tomorrow's session. But if you save the Teacher Connect number on your phone and access it via WhatsApp, that should help you to access it. There are prompts, easy step-by-step prompts that will help, but I do encourage you to join us tomorrow. That way we can be able to address. Elise says, I'm struggling to get the option for training on WhatsApp. Okay. So, Elise, may I request that you type in Teacher Connect Clear to reset your profile? That way it can reset your profile and be able to go through the registration again, and that pop-up should show up. If you're struggling, please email us or join us tomorrow so we can guide you through the process again. Okay, we look forward to having you, but you do not have to attend each one of these. Attend as many so you can get clarity, and we look forward to having you on our next session and invite all of your other friends and colleagues. Okay, so have a lovely, lovely afternoon. Okay, I'm just going to wait for a minute just to see if we have anyone else. Okay.